Okay, day number 17. Nice. Here we are. Again. Okay. 147, 2801 feet. Whoa, what the heck? Oh. This big thing seemed like it was not supposed to be there. Alright, so, this is where we left off last. And we're 147 miles in. As you can see, it would take about 3 hours and 50 minutes to drive. In the time that it took me about 17 days to walk. So that's really cool to think about. Isn't that an interesting fact? I know everyone cares. Alright, so we're also making a lot of progress with the channel. It's looking pretty good so far. I have trouble updating this on a daily basis, so the banner might not be on point every single day, but, you know, whatever, it works. And, yeah, okay, so the map is going to be working. So we have that going right there, and top of the morning to you. Let's just get straight into it again. And open up that Pirates of the Caribbean music. Because apparently Pirates of the Caribbean is a thing in Minecraft. If you didn't know that, that's another interesting... Okay, wait, hold on. We're not going to be backtrack. We're not going to be making no mistakes this time, right? We're going the right way. So we're still going basically straight due south. Okay, we have a road right here and we got a river. Actual liquid water, like that's something that you don't see too often around these barren parts. We're going to be on the planet of Hoth, literally, in terms of the weather and conditions for at least another 100 miles. And our first stop, I guess, is the first milestone in the long term will be Fairbanks, the city, which is right in the middle of the frickin' big ol' state of Alaska. Like right dead in the center of it, pretty much. So that's where we're gonna be going. And we are, as I'm just realizing right now, we are apparently getting down to our last sign in the first group of signs. We only have 3 left after this, which means if I'm able to pass 3rd grade math, we have about 46 episodes left to go before we run out of signs. So we better come across some trees before then. So we gotta cover a lot of miles each time. I'd say we have to cover like 10 miles each to get about 400 miles in. Hopefully there'll be some trees around Anchorage or Fairbanks or Moscow or Washington DC or whatever they got down there. Oh, what is that? Oh, I thought there was another sign right there. Okay, well, Herobrine's here, paying us a visit. So our first point of interest is going to be the road curving to the right. That's cool. I wonder if the YouTube algorithm will start promoting these videos now that I changed the metadata. I don't know. Like, YouTube algorithm is like the type of thing where you'll just see like if you have a series, you'll just see like the 58th episode or the 69th episode, something like that, just randomly recommended to you. And it doesn't really make any sense whatsoever. Like sometimes I'll see like these groups of videos, there's like 9 videos, like part 1 through 9 or whatever. And like episode 3 has the most views or something. It's like episode 1 has like, you know, a good amount of views, like 1 million views. Episode 2 has like 500,000 views. But then episode 3's got like 5 million views or something, and episode 4's got like 1 million or something. It really just do be like that. I don't understand. So maybe around like the 400th episode or something, the algorithm will really start pushing one of the videos to a lot of people. Alright, so another story time, because why not? There's nothing else to talk about in this lonely, depressing world. So this is not a weird elementary school story, as I've liked to tell in the past couple of episodes. However, I do have quite a bit of those. This is taking place in the same period of time, but it is also very bizarre and strange, and really should have never happened to begin with. It's the story of where I, myself, got lost overnight at a giant museum, basically. I got locked into a giant museum. Literally, it was night at the museum. Now, I don't know what country you're from who's watching this. You might be from America, also known as America. You could be from Australia. You could be from, Yukopotamia, Uganda. I don't know where you're from, but, you know, I'm sure we all know. We can all agree that we're familiar with, like, museums and stuff. Well, this museum was specifically called the Science Center. Now, would you just shh, be quiet. Now, they have science centers quite a bit in the United States. They might not have them that frequently in other places. So, basically, it's a museum that's focused around science. And, yeah, that's everyone's favorite thing. Not boring at all. Just a whole bunch of science in the museum, and just it's kind of like a museum that has history in it, but you know, you walk into the giant museum and it's just like space shuttles and rocket ships and whatnot, like hanging from the ceiling, and they got like physics simulation machines and whatnot. And it's actually better than a normal museum, if I do say so myself, except for the time when you get locked in overnight. And yeah, well, that happened to me. So basically, the way that all went down was, first started out, this was about maybe this was fourth grade. Seemingly everything bizarre happens in fourth grade with me. So, it was on the weekend, and I was with my friend, whose name was Jack. And this specific weekend, we were allowed by both of our parents to choose one place to go on like a field trip, unsupervised, because we were old enough to go to a place, which on our own for a whole day at least, and just be able to do whatever we want. And I guess I just chose the Science Center mainly just because I wanted to have some of that long, like, sugar pipe or whatever that was not available anywhere else in the whole world. That's basically, I don't know, I'm a dumb freaking kid, you know, I don't care about stuff. I just want that sugar pipe. You know, you take a plastic pipe and you fill it with sugar and stuff with different colors and flavors. They didn't have it anywhere else, so I was like, you know what? Hot dog, I'm going there. So we both decided to go to the California Science Center. California in particular, it's in Los Angeles, and not in the best area either. So basically, we get there, and oh my goodness, go away. Are you freaking kidding me? Does it look like I'm talking to you? Robots. We get to the Science Center, and I don't remember if it was an Uber, because I know definitely Ubers were around back then. Ubers have been around for quite a while. But it was like a rideshare that took both Jack and I to the Science Center. Now, I was pretty old for fourth grade, so I was probably like 12 years old. Jack was about 11 years old, 11 or 12, probably about the same age actually. So we get there. Nothing happens unusual, and just mess around and just play around with all the physics machines and whatever, and just kind of spend the whole day there. We were supposed to only be there for like an hour or two before we had to get on out of there, because otherwise, well, bad stuff starts to happen. It gets dangerous, stranger danger, and all the bad stuff, you know what I'm saying? But most likely no one would have predicted this would have happened. So at the end of the day, after we basically went to all the exhibits and whatnot. And by the way, Jack happened to be a scientific nerd, mathematician, whatever. So he liked that stuff along with me as well. But after the day came to a conclusion, more or less, the Uber driver on the way back was already scheduled to pick us up at a certain time, which was like 6 o'clock or whatever in the afternoon, or 5 o'clock, whatever time. I mean, it was only 30 minutes. No, sorry, it was like an hour before the place was about to close down. Now, we just happened to be on the other side of the museum. I was in the exhibit where they have the big old spaceship looking like it's straight out of the Among Us game, the space shuttle. And I was under there, and being my very short self, previously, like an hour before then, Jack was like an Enderman, like 5 feet taller than me. He could just like almost like jump and touch the top of the the like $100 billion frickin' space shuttle, and some security guard just started like slightly yelling at us, just slightly, like, "Hey, don't do that! Get out of here! Scram! Go away!" Okay. But this was after that. I was there by myself this time, where Jack was somewhere else in the whole museum, and I checked my iPhone 4, and it just so happened to be like 5:30, 15 minutes or something before the Uber driver on the way back was supposed to go. Was supposed to take us back. So I start rushing over, and I couldn't find him, but my main priority was just to get to the Uber driver, just in case, so I can tell him if he was just sitting there to just wait for my friend, who I can then call on my phone. But when I got to the front of the building, it was about 12 or 15 minutes later, and there was no Uber driver, and there was no Jack, and there was nothing. But there was my phone. And I texted Jack, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I left without you." He said, and he literally said something to that straightforward kind of nature. And I was about to just start screaming, man. I was like, "Oh my goodness, what is wrong with me? How could you just leave without me?" Like, "What do you mean you just left?" He's like, "Well, if I was gonna stay, he was just gonna leave without me too. So it's one man for each other, or one man for themselves at this point." He just basically said something like that. Like, "Well, if I didn't go, then he was gonna leave." And I wanted to say to him, like, "Oh, you couldn't just freaking tell him to wait for me?" And I don't know what he said in argument to that, but either way, the point is he gone. He gone. He's not there anymore, and I'm gone. I'm there, and ain't no one. So okay, so the smart thing to do would have been to obviously contact my parents through my iPhone. But the thing was, yeah, you guessed it, I had about 1% of my phone. So I did attempt to call my mom, and first time didn't ring, didn't answer. Second time I called, phone was dead instantly. Second, like 2 beeps in, called, phone died, and then dead. No more phone. And okay, so, well, at that point, my only logical option, being 12 years old, was to go back inside into the science center and try to find a charging port. Because I felt like if I could just go inside and ask someone for a charger and find like a freaking outlet, I could just charge this phone. So I went inside, I started looking around for the nearest outlet and for the nearest person. And by the time I got like into the actual place and any decent like distance into it, I started realizing that there was no one there anymore. There was only like a couple groups of families that were still just hanging around and mostly walking out the door. So I still keep trying to find a charging port or some kind of outlet of any kind. And then by the time that I get to a place, it was actually right next to the aquarium. It's like where this kind of like subsection branches off to other hallways leading to an aquarium, and there's like this dark hallway that leads into the aquarium. I go in there and I finally have my charger, and I have the charging port, and then I plug it into the wall, start charging the phone, basic stuff. And then the place is closed. The lights go off. And the next thing I know is I'm seeing these big police guards walking around, talking to each other. They got these, like, they didn't look friendly. I don't know what they were, but they definitely did not look like they were friendly individuals. They were walking around with their, I don't know what they had with them. They had like some kind of tasing gun. And also the person who I borrowed the charger from, I guess I never gave it back to them because I asked for their charger and they're like, yeah man, go ahead. It really only took actually 3 tries of asking people to get one. But that's what really confused me, because by the time I started charging it, I started looking around and the whole place was, lights were going off like incrementally in different places in the museum. The top floor started going off, and then all of a sudden, right in the down floor, right where that dark hallway that leads into the aquarium went off. And so I was just at this point too scared to even do anything, so what I did was I just found the dark corner right next to the aquarium in the hallway, which was not visible from the outside of the big room. And I just took my phone and I sat in that corner and just waited for it to charge, because I didn't know what else to do. My mind was saying if I were to go and try to get to the security guards, they were gonna frickin' shoot me with a taser or something. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't know if I was gonna get arrested for and then get in trouble for vandalism or intruding or whatever, because that's the main thing that I'm worried about, is just getting in trouble. Because obviously, you know, when you're that young, you don't care about anything except, oh my gosh, am I going to get in timeout or something? Okay, so that's why, you know, I didn't contact anyone. I didn't attempt to interact or show myself to these people walking around. And they were flipping up the tables to the lunchroom, which was in my line of sight. It's not flipping up the tables, flipping up the chairs on the tables. And after they did that, I heard their voices trailing off further and further into the museum until they weren't there anymore. And then all of a sudden, I think it was like 15 or 20 minutes after that, I was still in the corner. I had like a line of sight down the main corridor into like a kind of lobby area, and then past that into the cafeteria, which is somewhat near the museum with the spaceship in it. And all of a sudden, all the lights. Apparently, I was thinking up to that point all the lights were already off. Nope, all of them. Apparently, there was just secondary lights still on. It just got so dark within 1 second that it was like, nah, fam, that's it. I'm not moving from here. I don't care anymore. I'm stuck here. And from that point on, I just sat there. My phone eventually charged, but by the time it did, all the lights were completely off. And they had been for about 5 minutes. And there's no way I was about to try to make a sound by calling someone. So what I did was I texted Jack. And I remember telling him, "Are you, bruh? You just left me in the science center, man, and I'm here overnight, and it's pitch dark, and there's no one here, and I'm stuck inside the stupid museum, and you're probably at home playing frickin' Minecraft on your Xbox." And the text didn't go through for some reason. Like it just kind of failed, and then you can retry and send it as like an SMS. And I did, and it went through, but then there was no response, so I don't even know if it actually went through. I didn't tell my parents at that point. My mom, I didn't text her. I didn't text anyone else. Because, once again, the same reason. I wasn't about to risk getting in trouble. I thought maybe if I could just stay here, charging my phone with some random person charger who just happened to let me borrow it, who just then, I guess, must have left the museum with me, still having it. If I were to just sit in that corner, I would be okay. And I can get around it. I can get through it, you know? And no one will find out, and I'll somehow get back. Well, the thing that happened was, I basically stayed up until I pretty much realized that there's no way that I was just going to be able to just play Flappy Bird the whole time I was sitting there without literally getting so bored that I would just lose consciousness. So eventually, I did basically find myself falling asleep, and I realized how ridiculous it is that I'm actually falling asleep where I'm illegally in the middle of a big old museum. I'm not walking around. because all the scenarios of all the different possibilities are going through my mind. There's red laser beams all over the place, man. There's security cameras. FBI agents are gonna just burst through the window the inside I make any kind of movements. If I make any kind of sound, there's gonna be like a big alarm or some crap like that. Like every single possible freaking Mission Impossible type Ocean's 11 scenario was just on the table. So I just sat there until I eventually just opened my eyes again, and then it was sunny again. I was like, okay. Lights still weren't on, but it was like sunny, and the sun was actually hitting my eye through the big window that's in the lobby section. There's like a 2-story window section, and the sun, the rising sun was hitting me straight in the eyes. That's pretty much what woke me up that early. There was no sound. At that point, I felt it was safe to walk around because there was no people around, and there was no security guards or anything like that. But I also could tell there was like no lasers or anything like that, or any kind of security system. I really didn't care if I was going to get caught by some security camera. The phone, I think I checked my phone and it said like 7:03 in the morning. The place opens at like 7:30 or something, or 8 o'clock. By the time I get to the front door, it's locked. Obviously, it's barricaded shut. And I stay in the front section of the museum for about 30 minutes, however long it takes for some like really short lady who was even shorter than me to just walk up to the front door. And the way she looked at me, she was like looking at me like she looked at me like as if the way you would look at someone who had like ligma or something trying to give you a hug. She looked at me like I was the most bizarre thing she had ever seen in her entire life. And as she opened up the door, she must have been like employee of the security, because she was wearing a security outfit even though she was very, very, very short. kind of stubby, but it didn't matter. She instantly was like, "Oh my goodness, what are you doing in here? Like, what? Like, you know, where's your family? Like, you know?" And I was like, "Yeah, gig's up. I might as well just tell them exactly what happened." After I did that, there's more people around, and there's groups and clusters of people starting to gather around the front gate or door, waiting to go in, because it was just a normal day of business. And the police arranged some kind of, I don't know, like transport unit for me when I sat in the back seat. I really felt like I was a criminal at that point. They just drove me all the way back to my house. They didn't drive me back to Jack's house though, because if they had, I would have probably beaten him up. But nope, they drove me back to my house. And yeah, parents found out about it after all anyways. Obviously they had to contact them, but they were gone on vacation that entire weekend. If I didn't make that clear in the beginning of the story, that's why we were allowed to do this. And that happened, and that was that. I wasn't allowed to get out of the cop car and go to my house until I confirmed by phone via my parents that this was my house. And, well, it was not a good feeling. But that's basically how I stayed overnight at a very large science museum. It was literally night at the museum, except it was pretty uneventful because, well, a giant T-Rex skeleton did not come to life. There wasn't a monkey going all over the place pissing on me and stuff like that. There wasn't stuff like that going on. But maybe had I done more investigating around the place, I would have found something weird. It was also really scary to me because it was during the time when they had the mummy exhibit, and it's just a bunch of dead people, bro. They had real dead people, like just in certain places in the museum that I remember seeing while we were there, and that's what also scared me. Cause as you know, I'm still only like 12 years old in this story, and all lights go out right after seeing all these security guards with tasers walking, and there's like, I remember seeing mummies all over the place in certain places. in this, and like literal like sarcophaguses and wrapped up dead people. And I'm like, yeah, frick no, man. I'm not Scooby-Dooing this crap. I did not even attempt to make any movements. I just stayed right there the whole time, the whole night. And no one found me. They probably don't have some kind of search team or anything that goes searching around every single day to make sure no one's staying there. But they probably do now. So that's good. Now, I've said this story like multiple times. Now, this is like the third time I've said this story publicly. And it was not the best experience. Yeah, and that guy never gave me back his charger or I never gave him back his charger. I remember just asking like 2 people and they were just like, nah. And one was like a nice lady who just simply said, nah, I don't have one, sweetie, sorry. But then this guy who lent me it was actually pretty sketchy looking. He was like, okay, yeah, man, here, just take it, okay, just take it, go. like what? All right. Like, is this a, now looking back, it's like, what? Is this a bomb or something? Like, was it he's trying to kill me or something? Is like some drugs stashed in it or something? I remember the charger worked really shittily. It barely charged anything. I woke up and I checked the phone. It was like 24%. Overnight. And I still had no message from Jack, by the way. It's like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna freaking kill you, man. I'm not gonna kill him. I couldn't kill him, man. He weighs... Man, he's like... he's literally like 2 feet taller than me. I was about 4 feet 11 at that point. And he was probably about 5'6". And now I'm about 5'6". And he's about 7 feet tall in real life. He's white, by the way. He's not a basketball. He's white. He's not a basketball player. Don't worry. White people can't be basketball players. No, I mean he's not a basketball player. So just stop talking now. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa there. Now, where is that? Is that on both sides? No. Are you sure? Okay, well, where is that then? Wow. Oh, that's startling. It's like someone's following me around here. Some say the Herobrine's not real. That's hogwash. He's real, alright. Oh, he's real. I know it. I seen it. I seen him. Okay, it's cool. Sorry. Wow, that's scary. Scared. Okay, damn. Gosh. What an attitude on that. Oh, there's more of these little punks coming up now. Spawning all over the place. That is a big wall of white stuff. Could you imagine that's like a big wave? Theoretically, it's ice, so technically it could be a wave. Could you imagine like being in the ocean, you just see that, except that's water? It's like, well, I guess I'll just quit the title, man. That's it. That's it for my life. I have aquaphobia or something, man. Like, I can't stand that. Look how steep that is. Man, it just keeps going, too. Wow. Look at that. Look at that crap, bro. That is epic. Look how it gets dark over there. It's like a, man, it's like you're looking at a planet or something. Just a oh, hello. Look at this. Man. And this is looking up at that already from an altitude of 845 meters. What is that? How could there be possibly a road that goes up this big ol' thing? Is that it right there? No, that can't be it. Whoa. Well, there it is again. It's big. It's about to turn like real quick. Turning to the right real soon. Whoa, there's a big one. Nice big cave. Nice big hole in the ground. Okay, so where are we? Oh, we must be here. Wait. No. Right there? I guess that's where we are, right there. Alright, there's another road right there. Going parallel. Seems legit to me. Okay, so we're gonna stop right there. And we are somewhere like right here, pretty much about 8.7 miles. So that means we are where are we? We are okay, so we're right there. Right there. 156 miles. And yes, don't worry, I will change it to kilometers once we get into the non-USA. So just hold your horses if you happen to be foreign, because I'll get to your little kilometer system sooner or later. $886. No, not miles, you silly. 2,906. Great progress. All right. And that is day number 17. And I'll see you in day 18. Goodbye.